Hello Rebels, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for the recent support. I just want to hop right into the video, so let's get right in it. It had been a few days since Ahsoka had reached out about the impending siege on Mandalore. Anakin was eager to see Ahsoka again and provide relief to her. Anakin makes his way to Admiral Yularen's war room upon the Venator. Anakin walks in to find Ahsoka there waiting for him. Anakin knew that having Ahsoka here in person to go over plans for the siege meant that this was very important to her. He could see how she has grown and how time away from the Jedi has made her stronger. It made him proud to see that Ahsoka has been able to find her own way in the galaxy. Ahsoka quickly briefed everyone on the status of Mandalore. She explained how Maul had infiltrated Sundari with the help of corrupt politicians, especially Almec. She further explains that they have been tracking his movements for months to find his stronghold. Thanks to some codes from the Pikes, they have been able to decrypt that he is in the Capitol building. Ahsoka mentions that if they move fast, they can capture Maul. This catches Anakin's attention. He leaps at the opportunity to help and says that they must do what they can to help capture Maul. Obi-Wan dismisses Anakin's remarks and says that the Council will decide what to do. Ahsoka couldn't believe that Obi-Wan didn't want to help. She also didn't want to believe that he was going to leave the decision up to the Council, especially since it was the same Council that didn't trust in Ahsoka and made her see the error in the Jedi and leave the Order. Anakin could see the tension building in Ahsoka's face. Ahsoka was about to let out her feelings on the subject when Anakin interrupted. "Ahsoka, there's something I want to show you." Ahsoka's concentration was broken. She wanted to let Obi-Wan know what she thought about his decision, but he was gone. Ahsoka followed Anakin to the hangar bay where they had landed their ship earlier. She didn't know what Anakin wanted to show her, but what she saw was a surprise. When they entered the hangar, Ahsoka was shocked to find the 501st and part of the 212 lining the area saluting her. She didn't understand why they were saluting. After all, she wasn't a Jedi anymore, and she had no plans to come back. "They respect you, Snips. Not because you were a Jedi, but because of what you did for them in battle. We also wanted you to have these." Ahsoka finally understood what Anakin was saying. It had been a while, but she always enjoyed her time with the Legion and loved them like brothers. It made her even more happy that they presented her with her old lightsabers. She couldn't believe that Anakin had these. She lost them in the depths of Coruscant and wasn't sure that she would see them again. Her excitement and happiness was short-lived as Kenobi came into the hangar. She could see the look on his face, and it all but confirmed that she knew about the Council. They weren't going to help, and they were too concerned about politics to help out. Kenobi walked in and let Ahsoka and Anakin know that a decision hasn't been made. Something was going on, and Anakin could tell. He asked Kenobi what was going on, but Kenobi began to explain that Grievous has attacked Coruscant and taken the Chancellor hostage. He continued to explain that they have been tasked with getting the Chancellor back. Ahsoka couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had to voice her thoughts and let Obi-Wan know what she thinks. Ahsoka began to tell Kenobi that what the Council was doing wasn't right. She also expressed that the Council is focusing more on politics rather than helping the needy. Obi-Wan rebutted, saying that Coruscant and the Senate need their help. "Sounds like only the Chancellor needs your help," Ahsoka fired back. Anakin cut in, saying that Ahsoka was right. Although Anakin wanted to help the Chancellor, he also wanted to capture Maul, and knows that Obi-Wan can handle this mission on his own. He made the decision that he was going to help Ahsoka with her original request. After some back and forth, Obi-Wan accepted that Anakin wasn't going to change his mind. He also couldn't help feeling as well that this was the best option. Kenobi asked that Anakin send half of the 501st with him to help in the battle. Kenobi left with the 212 and part of the 501st to go fight in the battle over Coruscant. Anakin and Ahsoka were left with the last half of the 501st, and they began to depart as well. Ahsoka was very grateful that Anakin supported her and decided to come along. They arrived on Mandalore to find Sundari under siege by Death Watch. The battle was even on both sides. After quickly taking count of what has been going on, Anakin could see that Bo-Katan and her army couldn't last forever. The best thing that Anakin and Ahsoka could do to help would be to find Maul and take care of him as quickly as possible. They made their way to the Capitol building in Sundari. Maul was sitting on the throne, eagerly waiting the arrival of the Jedi. Maul had hoped for Kenobi and Anakin so that he could foil Darth Sidious's plan of making Anakin his apprentice. Maul watched Ahsoka enter in first, and Maul was surprised that Kenobi and Anakin didn't show up. Perhaps Sidious had sensed his plan and made it so that Kenobi and Skywalker had to be somewhere else. Whatever the case, he had to foil his master's plan at any cost. Maul began to express his feeling of how unbefitting the circumstance was. He explained how he had hoped for Kenobi and Skywalker, but he was stuck with an ex-Padawan. "Don't worry, Maul. I'm right here." Maul spun around to see Anakin standing over by the throne. Perhaps he was wrong about Sidious and his plan to foil what Maul was doing. Whatever the case, Maul could see now that he was deserving of Skywalker's attention. He didn't see Kenobi around, but that didn't matter. He was able to delay the Jedi a few days here on Mandalore, and with Skywalker here meant that this delay was what he needed to hinder the plan that Sidious had. Maul could now talk with Anakin and tell him about what he had seen in his vision. Still facing Anakin, Maul began to explain how this siege was an elaborate ruse to get him here. Maul explained to Anakin the vision he had had. He explained how his master has been controlling the Senate. He also shared how his old master was pulling the strings in the war and how he was grooming Anakin since day one to be his new apprentice. There's no way that this could be true. How could Palpatine be the master that Maul speaks of? Palpatine had been nothing but kind and like a father to Anakin. Anakin came to the conclusion that this must be a clever trick to get him to turn against the Chancellor and put the Jedi at risk so Maul can have no one stand in his way of power. Even if Maul was telling the truth, why would he decide to share this information now? How would a plan like this, that centers around the involvement of Anakin, have been made known to Maul? Why should I believe you? Search your feelings. You know it to be true. The dark side surrounds the Chancellor. Anakin took a moment to search the Force for the truth to what Maul had said. Suddenly, Anakin could feel the dark side of the Force surrounding the Chancellor and around the Jedi as well. Some part of what Maul said seemed to be correct. Still, it wasn't as clear as Anakin would have hoped. Was Anakin the reason the dark side was around the Jedi? Were they being influenced by a Sith posing as the Chancellor? Was Anakin being played as some part of a bigger plan? Anakin needed to find out the truth for himself, and still didn't know if he could truly trust Maul. He would have to find out for himself and ask the two people that he could truly trust. However, before Anakin can get the time to talk to Obi-Wan and Palpatine about what was said, he would have to take care of Maul. Even though Maul didn't appear to be aligned with the Sith anymore, and was following his own desires, he can't continue to be left unchecked. Anakin asked Maul to stand down, come back to Coruscant to tell his story to the Council, and to help the Jedi if what he says has any truth at all. Don't you get it? The Jedi have fallen. It's only a matter of time. The only way you can beat him is if you join me, and together we can save the galaxy. Maul continued to say that everything has led the two of them to this moment. Now was the time to make a choice. Join him and save the galaxy, or remain his enemy and die by his hands. Anakin didn't twitch or even move, signifying to Maul that he didn't contemplate the offer and has made his decision. Maul, seeing Anakin's resolve in his decision, understands that it's up to him to rid the galaxy of his master's plan. Maul breaks into a sprint towards Anakin, who starts running at him as well. The two of them met in the throne room, clashing their sabers against the other. Ahsoka, seeing that they can gain the upper hand, quickly joins the fight to Maul's rear. With Maul now being boxed in, they both coordinate their attacks in an attempt to knock Maul off balance long enough to capture him. Using his double-bladed lightsaber and his somewhat limited agility due to age, he parries the attacks on both sides. Maul continues on the defensive while throwing in some strikes of his own here and there. A few more minutes go by with Maul playing defense, and he can feel his body start to fatigue. He had greatly underestimated Ahsoka and Skywalker. Against the two of them, he can't keep matching the energy they are putting into the fight. Summoning half of what energy Maul had left, he pushes Ahsoka and Anakin back, just enough to where he can escape, to an environment that would better suit him in this fight. Maul climbs towards the top of the city to rendezvous with what was left of Death Watch. He could quickly see that his time was coming to an end. In one last attempt to buy time till his ride rescued him, Maul urged once more for Ahsoka and Anakin to join him. He pled with them again, saying that they can prevent what's to befall the galaxy. Anakin, hearing Maul's plea another time, couldn't help but think that Maul must be more correct than he thought. Still, it didn't change the fact that he was an enemy of the Jedi and must be captured. Anakin denied Maul one more time, cut the beam he was standing on, just as Rex came crashing through the dome to tie Maul up and bring him aboard into custody. With the goal of capturing Maul accomplished, Anakin could now turn his attention to what Maul had said. Anakin and Ahsoka boarded their ship to make their way back to Coruscant. Ahsoka made her way to the war room to call the council and brief them on what had happened, while Anakin went to the bridge to tell the captain their destination. Ahsoka spoke with the council about what Maul had said. Windu, hearing that Maul had told them about the Chancellor, confirmed for Ahsoka that he also felt darkness around him. He also requested, although Ahsoka wasn't a Jedi anymore, to watch over Anakin. He feared that if Anakin found out the truth, that he wouldn't take it too well. Ahsoka agreed and made her way back to the bridge to be with Anakin. Ahsoka made her way back to Anakin's side. As soon as she got there, he asked what the council had to say. She let him know that the council would like for Maul to be brought back to them, and they feared that he may be right. Anakin didn't say a word and stared forward as they made the jump to lightspeed. Ahsoka could sense some uneasiness around Anakin. She found that the council was right to worry about him. They quickly got to Coruscant and went to bring Maul to the council. Once they got to the temple steps, Anakin asked Ahsoka to take Maul inside while he went to talk with the Chancellor. Ahsoka didn't like the thought of splitting up, especially right after the council told her to watch him. Still, she couldn't risk Maul getting away or overpowering one of the clones. She reluctantly agreed and brought Maul inside to be interrogated by the council. Now having split up, Anakin made his way to the Senate building to confront Palpatine. Anakin found him just outside his office. Anakin. I've been expecting you. Maul said some interesting things about you and the Sith. Palpatine brushed off the comment and asked Anakin how Padme was doing. He mentioned that he could help keep her safe and bring his wife back from death, should it be necessary. How did Palpatine know about Padme, and that she was in danger? There's no way he could know unless he somehow saw into the Force and had the power to save her life like he said he could. So you're the Sith we've been looking for. I can teach you how to use the dark side to keep people from dying. So what Maul said was true. The Sith had been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Now, having confirmed what Maul had said, Anakin, having his saber drawn, was ready to strike down Palpatine and end the Sith once and for all. As Anakin stood there looking at Palpatine, he could tell that he was hoping to be struck down and then frame the Jedi for his death. Realizing this, Anakin chose to leave and get the Jedi that were still here from the Council to come and arrest the Chancellor. Anakin departed in hopes to find Mace, Yoda, or even Obi-Wan and tell them what the Chancellor has confirmed to him. Anakin found Mace in the hangar of the Jedi Temple talking with Ahsoka. Mace noticed Anakin walking up and asked him what the Chancellor had said. Realizing the opportunity, he let Mace know what he had found out and asked if he could be of assistance with the arrest. Mace responded by saying that Dooku and Maul had both confirmed the same thing and that his worst fears were now realized. He also let Anakin know that he may be too close to the Chancellor and needed to stay away from this and be safe. Anakin didn't like that he couldn't be of use to the Council in the arrest. He especially didn't like that he was told to stay away. Anakin, however, did do as he was told and headed to the Council room to wait. Ahsoka joined Anakin knowing that she still had to watch him and care for him as well. Ahsoka could tell that something was bothering Anakin as they sat in the Council chambers. She asked Anakin what was on his mind. Anakin stared at her blankly as if no one was there. Anakin opened his mouth and mentioned to Ahsoka that something didn't feel right and they must go help Mace. The two of them got up and made their way to the Chancellor's office. They arrived to Palpatine's office to find him fighting Mace. They watched as Windu parried all of Palpatine's attacks and backed him into the corner. With Mace Windu now towering over Palpatine, ready for the kill, Anakin rushed in. He rushed in to meet Mace Windu over at the window to say that Palpatine must stand trial before the Senate. Mace, seeing that Palpatine controls the Senate and is too dangerous to be left alive, let Anakin know that they must end his life and that he shouldn't stand in his way. Ahsoka stood behind Anakin, watching and waiting for his decision on what Mace had told him. I can save her. Anakin, help me. I can save the one you love. Okay, guys, I need your help. Please help me come to a decision of what choice Anakin will make. Will he go down the dark path or choose the light? I can see it going either way depending on what happens here and what happens around him, but I can't make a decision myself. Please leave a comment on what you think would happen and why you think so. Also, if you could leave a like on the video to help the channel, that would greatly be appreciated. Much love, and may the Force be with you, always.